What's going on, everybody? It's Nick here, and you are watching Legal Pad Law. Today, we're going to be talking about the Deshaun Watson lawsuits that have recently been filed and have been all over the news. But first, if you're new to this channel, welcome. My name is Nick. I'm an attorney, and on this channel, I talk about law and current events in plain English. Now, I want to move quickly to the video. Let's get straight into it. Watson, as most of you know, is a 25-year-old star quarterback for the Houston Texans. He's one of the best QBs in the NFL, if not the best. For many years, the Texans went through one disposable quarterback after another in a desperate search for someone who could lead the team out of the cycle of mediocrity that they had been trapped in for quite some time. As someone who lived in Houston during their period of 8-8 seasons and 7-8, 7-9 seasons, I can tell you that the city of Houston was demoralized by not having a star quarterback. So in 2017, the Texans struck gold when they drafted Deshaun Watson in the first round. Since then, Watson has established himself as one of the top tier quarterbacks in the NFL. Fast forward to September of 2020, last year, Watson signed a $111 million contract extension with the Texans for 4 more years. But things soon soured between Watson and the Texans in early this year, January 2021. Watson told the Texans that he wanted out of Houston. He wanted a trade to a different team. The Texans said, "No way, you're staying here." And the two, it seemed, had reached an impasse. The controversy seemed to fade away over the next month. Meanwhile, a massage therapist contacts the Houston law office of attorney Tony Buzbee and claims that Deshaun Watson had contacted her on Instagram for a massage appointment and then assaulted her. Buzbee is a personal injury lawyer in Houston who is known for his flashy lifestyle and humble roots. He played a major role in the BP rig explosion and oil spill case. A former colleague once described him in trial as a flamethrower attached to a bulldozer. Buzbee announced the lawsuit on his Instagram account in a post in which he wrote, quote, "Today we filed a lawsuit against Deshaun Watson. Should we make excuses for the famous or those who hold special positions or quarterbacks on a local professional football team? I don't think so. This case we just filed against Watson isn't about money. It's about dignity and stopping behavior that should be stopped now." Word got back to Watson pretty quickly, and later that evening, Watson fired back at Buzbee on Twitter, calling him a publicity-seeking plaintiff's lawyer. Watson wrote, "I have never treated any woman with anything other than the utmost respect." He then pointed out that while Buzbee claims that this isn't about the money, prior to filing that lawsuit, Buzbee sent him a 6-figure settlement demand, which Watson quickly rejected, adding, "Unlike him, Buzbee, this isn't about money for me. It's about clearing my name, and I look forward to doing just that." To date, Buzbee has filed 16 separate lawsuits against Watson in which he represents massage therapists who are accusing Watson of assaulting them during their appointment. On March 18th, Buzbee posted a confidential letter from the NFL to his Instagram account. In that letter, the NFL's special counsel for investigations informed Buzbee that the NFL is investigating the allegations made against Watson and asked for him to cooperate in its investigation. Then the following day, Buzbee called a press conference to discuss the case. During his press conference, he says that he has spoken to no fewer than 22 women who claim that Watson has engaged in similar misconduct to the misconduct that's outlined in the pleadings filed against him.
So more than 22 women that we've spoken to who have reported conduct similar to that laid out in our public filings.
Later in the press conference, Buzbee claimed that he is not seeking publicity and this case isn't about the money.
The case ain't about money. And it's certainly not about seeking publicity or fame. I personally don't need it. And these women don't want it.
So if it's not about the money, what is this case really about?
This case is about female empowerment, taking the power back.
Now, I couldn't help but roll my eyes when Buzbee said these cases are not about the money. I know a lot of people don't believe that, and I don't believe that. Of course, this case is about money. That's really the only remedy that's available in a civil lawsuit. And if empowering females and taking the power back, as he said later in the press conference, is his true goal and his client's real goal, then what better way to do that than a huge jury verdict, what better way to catch the public's attention than a huge jury verdict in favor of these plaintiffs? So, of course, it's about the money, and don't ever believe a plaintiff's attorney who says it's not about the money. Nobody believes that anyway. So I don't know why Buzbee had to say that, because there's nothing wrong with it. That's called our civil justice system, and that's the only real remedy that you can get in a civil lawsuit. So with that being said, let's move on. Now, the first lawsuit against Watson was filed just one day before the beginning of the NFL's free agency signing period. Buzbee suggested that the timing of everything was just a coincidence and that the owner of the Texans, Cal McNair, had nothing to do with it.
And I need to dispel some silly rumors. Yes, I live on River Oaks Boulevard, and I live near the McNair family. I don't know the McNair family. I wouldn't recognize Cal or Hal, whatever his name is, if I saw him on the street. This case has nothing to do with the Texans. Has nothing to do with free agency, the timing. I don't know anything about that silliness, and I frankly don't care about it. Texans are not a team that I follow.
Again, I didn't think Buzbee needed to pretend like he doesn't know who Cal McNair is, the owner of the Texans. I live in Dallas. I used to live in Houston. I knew who owned the Houston Texans, and I know who owns the Dallas Cowboys. Everyone in the city knows who owns the football team in their city. I mean, it would be like me getting in front of a press and telling them, I have no idea who this Jerry Jones guy, whatever his name is, Jerry Jones guy is, even though I live in the same neighborhood as him. It's absurd. Nobody believes it. And quite frankly, I don't know why Buzbee needed to pretend like he has no idea who Cal McNair is. I mean, it doesn't, if anything, it hurts his credibility more than it helps it. I guess he thinks that any alternative theory to why he might be bringing these cases, if that gains any momentum in the press, it might hurt the case. But I think what hurts the case more is blatantly denying something that's just ridiculous. In fact, on Twitter, there's a tweet that's circulating on Twitter in which Buzbee posted a photograph of a board that says, "Keep Johnny Football in Texas." And then Buzbee wrote right below the photo, "Remember this, 7 years ago, I put 10 billboards up around Houston asking my neighbor, Mr. McNair, to draft the greatest college football player ever. Obviously, it didn't happen." Well, Buzbee, obviously you do know who Cal McNair is because you put 10 billboards directed straight at him 7 years ago. So it's just silly. I don't understand why he's pretending like he doesn't know who Cal McNair is. Anyways, Deshaun Watson, for his part, has hired a high-profile lawyer from Houston as well. His name is Rusty Hardin, and that is who will be defending Watson in these 16 lawsuits. Hardin is well known because he's successfully defended numerous athletes, including Roger Clemens in the steroid case, Adrian Peterson. Now, Hardin is perhaps best known for his cross-examination of Nicole Smith some years ago, which produced the following memorable exchange between the two.
Miss Marshall?
You asked that lady right there.
Miss Marshall, have you been taking new acting lessons?
Screw you, Rusty.
Well, what's the answer to my question?
I haven't taken any acting lessons because y'all won't let me out of here. I shouldn't even be here.
On March 23rd, Hardin released a statement on behalf of Watson in which he accused Buzbee of orchestrating a circus-like atmosphere by using social media to publicize 14 Jane Doe lawsuits during the past 7 days in a manner calculated to inflame the public and malign Deshaun's otherwise sterling reputation. Hardin revealed that Buzbee was refusing to confidentially provide him with the names of the Jane Doe plaintiffs so that he could make his own investigation into the matter. Hardin then suggested that the accusations against Watson were false, stating that in one of the cases, quote, in which we have been able to identify a plaintiff, we have strong evidence showing the allegation is false. Hardin explained that earlier this year, a woman attempted to blackmail Deshaun by demanding $30,000 in exchange for her indefinite silence about what she stated was a consensual encounter. Hardin then explained that we have received numerous unsolicited comments in the past week from many licensed massage therapists who have worked with Deshaun in recent years. These women describe him as a gentleman and a model client who never engaged in inappropriate conduct. Indeed, before these salacious claims, everyone who associated with Deshaun described him as an outstanding, respectable, and compassionate man. Later that night, Buzbee responded to Hardin's statements in a Facebook post. In response to Hardin's suggestion that one of Watson's accusers attempted to blackmail him, Buzbee fired back, attempting to criminalize or minimize those who speak out or step forward is wrong. Buzbee then revealed that Watson and his marketing manager had repeatedly insisted that one of the accusers sign a non-disclosure agreement after his massage session, which she refused to do. In Texas, assault includes situations where someone intentionally or knowingly causes physical contact with another person when they know or should reasonably believe that the other person will regard the contact as offensive or provocative. The essence of assault is violating someone's sense of bodily integrity. Therefore, words alone cannot constitute an assault, no matter how insulting or offensive they may be. There must be some physical contact or apprehension of physical contact to count as assault. The burden of proving assault in a civil case is much lower than the burden of proof in a criminal case. In a criminal case, you have to prove assault beyond a reasonable doubt. That's like 75-25 or even more, even higher. It could be 90-10%. That's not the case in civil cases. In a civil case, the bar that you have to clear in order to prove your claim is much lower. You just have to show a preponderance of evidence or a greater weight of the credible evidence. So that means you can have as much as 49% doubt and still vote for the plaintiff. That's why O.J. Simpson was found not guilty in his criminal case, but he was found to be responsible for the deaths in his civil case. Let's briefly talk about the defenses that Watson might be using and that it appears that Rusty Hardin will be using on behalf of Watson in this case. Consent is the primary defense in an assault case, typically like this one. Based on Rusty Hardin's statement, it does look like Watson is going to use this defense, especially in response to lawsuit number 3. Lawsuit number 3 contains some of the more graphic allegations against Watson. In his statement, Hardin says the massage session in this lawsuit was actually a consensual encounter that ended up in an extortion attempt. In his statement, Hardin says the massage session in the lawsuit was actually a consensual encounter that ended up in an extortion attempt. Expect Watson to make this same argument in some of the other lawsuits. Watson may also point out that none of the women who were allegedly assaulted filed criminal police reports after the incidents had occurred, and some of them waited almost a year before they even filed a lawsuit and decided to come forward with these allegations. So he might try to use those facts to cast suspicion onto his accusers. That being said, under Texas law, the mere fact that an assault victim did not report the assault to the police is not by itself a defense to assault. If these lawsuits were going to go to trial and there's conflicting testimony as to whether the massage therapist consented to whatever happened during the appointment, a jury would ultimately have to decide who they believe more, who is telling the truth and who is lying. So that's all I've got for you today. If you like this video, let me know by giving it a like. If you don't want to miss any of my update videos on this particular set of lawsuits, make sure to hit that subscribe button below if you have not done so already, and turn the bell notification icon on. And of course, as always, thank you for watching.